entertaining talking sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Haven't even been following the Washington game right now, but I wanted to get my post-game video up recapping the contest between the Arizona Cardinals and the New York Giants, in which Arizona won 26-7. First thing I'm going to do is congratulate Arizona. You guys played a great football game. You guys outplayed us in all three facets, and you guys are 7-6, so congratulations. I picked us to win. I thought we would win. And, yeah, I guess you could say I took you guys lightly, and you guys deserve this win. You guys played a great football game. So, wanted to credit you guys. The Giants, of course, coming in at 1-4 straight. And this is a reality check, man. This is a gut punch. And we still have to realize as fans, myself included, I'm just as emotional as you guys. I say it all the time. You're going to get my emotions. You're going to get my true feelings. And, yeah, I was excited. I mean, we had 1-4 straight. I was thinking and hoping that we turned a corner. And we did. I still think we've grown. I still think this is an improved football team, but you didn't see it today. And this was a gut punch. You know, we found ways to win games in the past when we weren't hitting on all cylinders, and today we didn't hit really on any cylinders. Outside of the defense, I'll give them credit in this video, particularly in the first half. But the Giants just got thoroughly outplayed. I mean, when you look at the time possession, it's a joke. Time possession, we lost by 15 minutes. We had crucial turnovers. Something that we knew couldn't happen coming in. During the 4-game winning streak, the Giants had created 10, only gave up 2. And a lot of it goes on the offensive line. A lot of it goes on the quarterback. A lot of it, there's blame to go around. Believe me. And I'll put the blame, to go around. But, in a loss like this, everybody wants to blame one individual person. They want to put it on the quarterback. They want to put it on the coach. They want to put it on the offensive coordinator. They want to put it on the offensive line. I think it's a collective effort here. The first thing we're going to talk about is Daniel Jones. And obviously, Jones shouldn't have played in this game. I mean, it was clearly evident, probably around the second quarter, that he wasn't 100% himself. Of course, when he's in the game, you want to back him. You want to give him every opportunity. For the people that think Colt McCoy gives us a better chance to win when Jones is healthy, I don't know what to tell you. But as far as Jones being banged up, if he's not 100%, if he can't move in the pocket, if he can't take off and run with it when the opportunity's there, he shouldn't be in there. And, one thing I'll say, I don't blame Jones for going out there. He's a competitor, much like Saquon Barkley was last year, and he wants to go out there and he wants to help his team win. He knows that he gives this team the best chance to win, and he wants to be out there for his teammates, and I get that and I respect that. But especially late in that game, when the Giants were down, I think it was 16 points. I said it on the stream. That's Joe Judge's job to get him out of that football game. He was limping to the huddle, 2-3 times. And I could even understand if it was a 6-point game and you're trying to win the game. Giants, the game is over at that point. He's limping back to the huddle, and I never rag on Joe Judge. I love Joe Judge. I'm still going to love Joe Judge. I still think he's done a terrific job with this football team. That's on him. He's got to get Daniel Jones out of the game at that point in time, in my opinion. And I'm curious to see what Joe Judge has to say after the game. But he clearly wasn't 100%. He brought McCoy in the next drive, but I thought he should have pulled Jones a little bit earlier. It was clearly evident with all the hits he was taking. He can barely walk. He's got a banged-up hamstring to begin with. So in that aspect, I will say that I don't think Judge did a great job. Overall in this game, speaking about Daniel Jones, I mean, what positive can you really say about the guy? I mean, I'm not going to make a ton of excuses for him. When you wear the uniform, you're expected to produce. Granted, he was banged up. But, I mean, they had, 80 yards, I think, of total passing offense for the game. They had about 150, 160 yards of total offense. The offense was horrible. It was putrid. We didn't get over the 50-yard line until, I think, our first drive of the second half, in which we scored a touchdown. I mean, it was really bad. It was reminiscent of the playoff game against the Carolina Panthers with Eli Manning in his second year. The offense was stagnant throughout the entirety of the game. Some of it definitely falls on Jones. Some of it definitely falls on Jason Garrett. I've been a guy that stuck up for Garrett, and granted, he had a banged-up quarterback in this game. Daniel Jones definitely wasn't himself. The week before, he definitely had Colt McCoy, so I'm going to be as fair as I can. But some of the play calling by Garrett in this game just didn't make a lot of sense to me, especially in the second half. And I thought they should have run the ball more. Even though it was close to 50-50, but knowing that you had a quarterback that wasn't himself, he was clearly banged up, they should have tried to run the ball more than they did early on in that game. They came out with the hurry-up offense. They got too far away from the run, in my opinion. In the second half, I get it. You were behind in that game, and you had to open it up a bit. You had to throw. But that's been the strength of this team. That's why we've been winning football games. That's why we haven't been turning the ball over near the same rate as we have, in recent history. And it is what it is. The Giants, he called a bad game. But on that drive after they scored the touchdown, which was a great drive, Jones came out, tried to put the team on his back, hit Golden Tate with a deep ball, and they ran it in. But the next drive, I don't understand the play calling at all. I don't mind passing. Obviously, I think you were down 13 points at that point in time. I completely get passing from your own 8 on first down. But the route tree that he drew up, I mean, they were all 3-yard patterns. The risk is not worth the reward there when you're pinned up at your own 8-yard line to try to take a shot 2-3 yards down the field. The ball was nearly intercepted, and no receivers created any separation. So I thought that play call was really bad. Then they ran the ball to Gallman. He picked up 9 yards, and it was a 3rd and 1. And to be completely fair on the third down call, I don't know if Jones checked out of it and saw something and he was trying to take a shot down the field. But on 3rd and 1 from your own 15 or 16-yard line, wherever they were, you don't throw a 50-50 ball down the right sideline. So whether that's Garrett that called that play or whether that's Jones that checked out of it, that didn't make any sense. If you're at the 50, it's different because you could go for it on 4th down. You want to try to take a shot, you take a shot. From your own 15, you either run the ball or you call for a much higher percentage passing opportunity. So to me, that play, that whole drive was a complete disaster, and there were a number of other times throughout this game. Garrett definitely got a tough, he had a tough job coming in. I recognize that, a new scheme and everything else. It's why I stuck with it. The offensive line was struggling. And the last couple weeks, I liked that they really got behind the run game. But in this game, Jason Garrett was bad. The play calling was very bad. The offense just couldn't move the ball. And some of that falls on Jones. Some of it falls on the fact that Jones was banged up. Some of it falls on Jason Garrett. And some of it falls on the players. There weren't a lot of drop balls. There wasn't much separation created. I'll tell you that from the wide receivers. And Arizona came out with a great game plan. I'm not going to take anything away from them. They drew up a lot of blitzes. They were getting pressure on the quarterback throughout the game. The offensive line was awful. And that was something coming in that, and I'm curious to get the final sack numbers. I don't remember exactly what it was. But that was something coming in that I was really happy about with the way that this offensive line had been performing. Andrew Thomas in particular, the first-round pick. And I still believe in Andrew Thomas. I'm not going to be one of these guys that says that Andrew Thomas is a bust off one game, especially seeing that he played great the 4 or 5 weeks prior to that. But this was a really bad game. The New York Giants surrendered 8 sacks in this contest. 8 sacks on only how many passing opportunities? They had a total of, they had 24 passing opportunities in terms of attempts, and they surrendered 8 sacks. So Jones was getting lit up every time he dropped back in the pocket. The fumble, yes, people are going to say that's on Jones, and he fumbled it, but they didn't even block the guy. Marcus Golden came off unprotected, and the Giants fumbled the ball. Later in the game, the same thing kind of happened to Colt McCoy when I think Andrew Thomas missed the block. I think the first one might have been Cam Fleming. The offensive line was awful. They were getting pressure up the middle as well throughout this entire game, and Jones didn't have a lot of time in the pocket. There were times where he did, though, and he missed some throws. The defense, I thought, actually played really well. And that's the one thing that's been a constant. The first drive of the second half, I'm not going to give them a pass because they weren't completely worn down at that point. The time of possession was near even in the first half, and they let Arizona go right down the field, chew up half the quarter, and score a touchdown. So I'm not going to give them a complete pass, but in the first half, they were great. The red zone defense was terrific, going up against the best red zone offense in football. And if you keep giving Arizona that many opportunities, they're going to eventually crack. And they were 2 for 7 in the red zone today, Arizona. So the Giants defense did great. After the fumble, they held them. They were able to get off the field on 4 downs. The defense is what kept us in this game, and it's why we were only down 13 points at the half. The special teams continues to be a major problem. I don't know why Dion Lewis returns that ball. Should have kneeled it, a yard or two deep in the end zone. He decided to take it out. He fumbled. That resulted in the only touchdown of the first half. So a lot of momentum-shifting plays and a lot of mistakes that the Giants, quite frankly, are not good enough to make if we expect to win football games against good teams, and that's what the Cardinals are. They proved it today. They beat us in all 3 facets, on offense, on defense, and in special teams. Kyler Murray had a good game. I'm not going to say it was a great game. He had a good game. He ran the ball effectively. He made throws when they needed to be made, and he didn't turn the ball over. And that's what it comes down to. He had one throw that should have been picked off, but I will give credit to DeAndre Hopkins. He made a great play. The Giants couldn't come up with fumbles. I think they had 2 opportunities on the same drive to come up with fumbles in which Kenyon Drake fumbled the football. Couldn't grab either one, and it just seems like, the bounces didn't go our way. Not that I'm making excuses. We were thoroughly outplayed. And the Giants, this is humble pie for the fan base, for me, for the team. And I think we got to realize what this season always was. It was a rebuilding season. We got to grow from this. We got to get off the mat, and we got to come out with a good effort against Cleveland. Whether or not Jones will be the quarterback, I don't know. But right now, he doesn't look near 100%. My guess would be probably not. I would think McCoy, and we'll see how the New York Giants come out fighting next week, will not be an easy opponent to be on prime time against the Cleveland Browns. And we know that they could run the ball at will. The Giants are going to have to do a much better job at stopping that run. Today, in terms of yards per carry, they did a pretty good job, 3.7. But the Cardinals had 159 yards on the ground on 43 carries. A lot of that being Kyler Murray at 13 carries. But as the game wore along, which you expect when you get killed in the time of possession, Arizona was able to establish that ground game. The Giants are going to have to do a better job there because if they fall behind against Cleveland, we don't have the offense at this point to be able to overcome double-digit deficits. We just don't. And, this is a humbling loss, and hopefully we grow from it. The one thing I'll say about this Giants team is every time they've gotten knocked down to the mat, they've gotten back up this year. Not necessarily in a winning effort, but they've put forth a really good effort. You go back to the loss earlier in the season when we got blown out against the 49ers, our most embarrassing loss of the season, and we came back and we narrowly beat the Rams, who were, they're one of the best teams in football this year. And they were like a double-digit favorite. We almost beat them. You could even argue we probably should have been able to send that game to overtime in L.A. It was one of our best performances of the year. We blew the 11-point lead to the Eagles. We came out and we gave a great effort against the Tampa Bay Bucs. I expect the New York Giants to come out, clean up some things, and give a great effort because I believe in my head coach. I believe in Joe Judge. I think he made a big mistake today, but I'm not going to kill him for it. I think he needs to grow from this and hopefully not let it happen again. If Jones is not near 100%, I think today demonstrated he should not be starting. In terms of the future quarterback, he's still our quarterback going into 2021. I don't see the Giants going out there and drafting a quarterback, but yeah, this hurts. Because you saw your young quarterback progressing. That's what this year's about. He came off 3 straight starts in which he didn't turn the ball over, that he was showing better pre-snap reads, things like that. And the injury definitely could have had something to do with that. I'm not going to just completely discount that. But yeah, having games like this in big spots and seeing him struggle in the offense as a whole struggle definitely hurts. Hopefully the Giants could respond and they play better going forward. There's not really much else to say other than that. Passing game just couldn't get it going today. Jones was 11 for 21. He was sacked 6 times. He had a QB rating of 70. We got to get back to our roots. We got to get back to the ground and pound. And if the Giants are going to have any chance against Cleveland, they got to start running the football effectively to start that game. They got to set the tone. They were unable to do it in this football game. I think they got too far away from that in the first half. We'll see how the Giants respond. We'll see how Garrett responds. But of course, today is it was a sad day to be a New York Giants fan. You get used to winning, and it sucks when you lose the taste of it. But hopefully, that makes the New York Giants hungry to get that taste back, and hopefully Washington loses. Like I said, I'm not watching the game right now. Philadelphia, last I checked, was winning. So we'll see how the NFC East breaks out at the end of the week, but it looks as if it's going to continue to be a very tight race down the stretch. 2 tough games coming up, but no excuses. Next man up. Giants got to find a way to win it. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.